Phoenix Boyer. I go to Bishop Chatard High School. I'm currently a junior. I'm 16, and I'm involved in track and field, and then obviously I'm also involved with cross country. So
So far, so like I was saying a second ago, I caught you because of the 400 and the hurdles and those events. Now you said cross country, so I'm a little thrown off. You that was your initial sport?
no, that was not my initial sport. I recently, it was sophomore year, I started running cross country. I did run it in middle school a little bit more, but freshman year I did football, and then I did cross country sophomore year, and I was like, it's probably safer, just keep me out of injuries. Honestly, like I was always like debating if I should like continue doing cross country because the 400, if it's like beneficial, whatnot. I think it's been great. I think it's helpful. Get that like last little pushing, but yeah. So I've been doing cross country.
You definitely have endurance, that's for sure. I was going to coach, took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, well, wait a minute, cross country. So how did you get interested or introduced to track and field or cross both in the first place?
So I didn't do a lot of sports as a kid. I kind of like the first sport, like I mean, I guess the most basic sport you can kind of go into at the start, at least seeing as a kid, is track. So I was like, okay, I can run. I mean, that's a start. So why not hop into track as my first like actual sport? So I started running. I wasn't anything from the ordinary. I wasn't like insane or anything and too fast at the start. I just started running, and over the years, I progressively got faster. I'm the youngest in my grade. I'm really young for my grade, so I always saw these kids are going way faster than me. And then one year I was like, oh, I'm catching up. I'm catching up. So that was nice. Eventually getting there. And then cross country, same thing. I was like, oh, I'm running track. Why not do something else I can run in? The simple things, I guess.
Yeah. When do you? I mean, I'm getting personal, but when do you turn 17?
I turned 17 in August 26th. So I still got
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are,
Oh,
baby. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
wow. Well, I mean, but in a sense, that works to your advantage
I
Yeah.
think,
because it's like, you're like you're far beyond your years in terms of where you are speed wise and age wise. Usually that takes you're like 2 years ahead. Like most 17, 18-year-olds are developing where you are. So
mhm,
I guess that's a good sign. And if I'm
yeah,
a college coach, I'm like, I'll take him, you
yeah,
know,
Right.
because
Absolutely.
he's young enough. He hasn't even hit his peak, and you
Right.
still won't for a while. Oh,
Yeah. At
so
the
that's
right time. Sure.
yeah. Well, with your involvement in track and field over this time frame, who's been your biggest inspiration?
I want to say my biggest inspiration. Honestly, obviously, I'm gonna say my parents because they're always there for me. That's an obvious answer. I'm gonna get out there, just always supporting me. If I didn't do track, they wouldn't care. But they obviously push me doing track. That's like they're like, I don't care what sport you do, whatever sport you do, I love you. I'll encourage you for it. But I want to say my next inspiration is definitely like coaches and my team, just my team as a whole. Because I feel like my teammates, I see like obviously, Kalen, he's a hard worker. So I see him and I'm like, if I can't compete as hard as him, why am I like I need to give something to my team. I want to compete. And that's kind of been inspiring me to do the best I can. And then it just kind of inspires myself. Like I love the sport. So I inspire myself to just like work as hard as I possibly can because I'll go out there every day. I enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then why do it? You know what I mean? So I just that's my biggest inspiration. There's a couple things, but
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned your parents being an integral part, so we'd like to shout out the parents. Can you share their names? And then also your coaches. Like we've had some Bishop Art athletes on here already, but we still want to pay homage to your coaches too. So shout them out as well.
yeah. So my mom, Megan Boyer, and my dad, Nathaniel Boyer, and then my coaches. I have a couple coaches. So Coach McGinley is the head coach, and then assistant coach Schaffner. So those two people are really big for me in track. So yeah.
Awesome. So you sound like you've been having an amazing experience with your teammates and your coaches, and you have a great support system with your parents. What's been your most memorable moment so far from competing?
Shoot. So I mean, off the top of my head, just hearing that, I think of freshman year when I first went to state, because like I went to state freshman year. I didn't even like that wasn't even in my like I don't know. I didn't have my eyes on that. I didn't know I was like able to compete at that level. We weren't like a great. It was a 4x4. We weren't like a great 4x4 at that time. As a freshman, I was like, wow, I'm able to compete with all these kids, and that was a big moment for me. I was super excited, obviously extremely nervous, but that moment for me was super fun. I mean, as a freshman, that was awesome. And I was like, well, where can I go from here? So, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's cool.
that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big deal.
Mhm.
Now, you said how super nervous you were. Now, since that time, how have you developed in terms of preparing for those big competitions mentally?
No, that's a really good question because that's the whole thing for me. I feel like I used to have problems with being nervous before races. I get like really like, I don't know, am I gonna compete at that same level? Am I gonna be there? Like, what if I slip? Like the small things, whatever, whatnot. So like, I mean, obviously in middle school I was super nervous, but now this year I feel like I've changed my mindset. My coach is like, the biggest thing you can have, Phoenix, is confidence because confidence is what's gonna get me. Like if I can tell myself I'm doing these things and I can accomplish those, like I already know my times and I know I can run them again. So I feel like if I have that confidence, I can just go out there and do my best. So this year I've been putting that in the Louisville meet. I told myself I can beat whoever's out there. I know like right now the time that I had was fast, so I know that I should be able to beat whoever I go against. And there shouldn't be like a limit for me. I mean, I'm 16, so I got time. So I don't know. I feel like confidence now is definitely better than nervousness. Nervousness, it's not bad. It's always good to have because I feel like it's definitely good. It gets me worked up. It's adrenaline. I still have that nervousness, but I like to combine. I don't know, in a way, combine it with confidence. It's like a mix. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the butterflies that make you fly.
yeah, yeah. So
Yes, that's awesome that you learn how to turn nervousness and couple that together with your confidence. So, in track, sometimes you have your wins and your losses. So how do you handle setbacks with your performance?
so for me, with like wins and losses, so at the Louisville meet, that was like I ran that time and I found out it was like a DQ. So, because I got disqualified in that meet for stepping out of line, and so for that, like at that moment, that made me very frustrated. So I have moments like that, or like at state or whatnot, if I don't perform as well as I wanted to. But I feel like every time I've had those moments, I've been frustrated and whatnot. But I feel like it's taught me a lesson. Like, I mean, obviously, you have to lose. Like, if
Yeah.
you don't fail, you're not doing it right, and that's all. That's apparent. You need to
Mhm.
fail to get your big win. I will, and like I said, I say this a lot. I like to say, I will take as many losses as possible to just get one big win because that's what I'm going to work for, and it's going to be the same goal every time. If I lose, I'm going to keep that same goal. So I think losing is more important. Like I don't want to say it's more important than winning as the final goal, but I think losing it's important because we have to have it. We have to have it. So
You get all the lessons in the losses.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. I know you had like you're still young in this sport. And
Yeah.
you've only been running really like 3 or 4 years. What got you into hurdles?
For me, I mean, if we go back to middle school, at the time, I mean, I became fast, and I don't know, I was just trying out new things. There wasn't anything crazy to it. I mean, I thought it would look like a fun event. I tried it out. It was either I did that or some kind of field event, long jump, high jump, or something like that. And I was like, all my friends at the time were doing that. And I was like, why not try it out? I don't know. I think it's a great decision. I think it was a great decision. I love hurdles. It's probably one of my favorite events. I like the mechanics, the technicality to it because it's different. It's a little different. I don't know. I like the memorizing the steps. It's just a whole little fun little event. So yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I like that.
Mhm.
So, what are some of your short-term and long-term goals?
The short term goal is to, I guess I want to say, I mean, have success. Obviously, get to a point where I can go to like college or whatnot. But I mean, long term, I want to say like, I don't know. I like being like the best version of me. I like pushing myself. Like long term goal, as long as I'm pushing myself and like I'm putting myself like past my limit, that's what I like to do. Cause like if I can do that, I feel like I can do a lot of other things. Like it's just like pushing myself every day is what I think is my long term goal. And then short term goals have these little wins, these losses that make me better. But long term goal, just keep pushing that discipline. Yeah. Mhm.
Speaking of discipline,
Yeah.
you're a young junior. How do you handle your academics when it comes to academics and athletics? I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you're pretty smart because it seems like you're a grade ahead of where you should be. So how do you handle that?
For me, I mean, obviously procrastination is a thing, but I think the best thing to do is just get out of the way. I mean, I've had many experiences like procrastinating studying, homework, whatnot. I like to just do my work in school if I have any free time, get it done with. Because I mean, after school, I go straight to practice, and I'll come home. It'll be either later, and it's just better to have that time to go to bed early, relax. So I think balancing those, it's like super important, just to kind of like get the hard stuff out of the way, get it over with, so you have time later in the future just to relax and get your sleep in. Sleep's important, so yeah.
That's great. Yes, sleep is a necessity. Do you feel like you've had to give up anything of being a student athlete?
I was thinking about this question earlier, and I'm thinking honestly no, because I feel like there's obviously some sacrifice in track, like time, but it's something I love to do. So I
Mhm.
mean, I'm fine sacrificing that time, putting the time into track, and then academics. It kind of creates a routine, and I honestly like the routine. It keeps me in schedule, keeps me in shape. I'm doing these academics, and I'm doing all that, and it just kind of keeps me in line in a way. So I like the way it's like a system. I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, makes
Man,
sense.
Mhm.
yeah, it does. It does. And then like getting back on the track. Like I know we were talking about the meet where your teammate broke the record and you were like right there, you got disqualified. You could have turned out to that could have turned a whole different way, right?
Yeah.
So you could have went haywire and been out there fussing and cussing and whatever else. So what's your idea about behind sportsmanship? Like, what are your thoughts on how important it is, how relevant it is? Is it great for the sport?
I mean, yeah, I think it's obviously great for the sport. I feel like as a teammate, we've talked about this in practices and whatnot. Like there's different ways of sportsmanship that can be like encouraging your teammates or like even just like teasing them, having fun. Because some people like to get teased, to get pushed further. Like sometimes like if someone's like, "Hey, I'm gonna beat you," or like, "I'm a little better than you," I'll take that hit so I can go work out and go beat them because like, I like to prove them wrong. So there's obviously like that teasing kind of nature of sportsmanship, but obviously like the like congrats man you did great because like that's the one I like to do a lot because I like to be like good job you did your best because I like to I like to see other people succeed get their PRs so I can also one day hopefully like I'd obviously like the appreciation once I get noticed if I do well too so yeah I think sportsmanship's extremely important in the sport yeah.
You
Mhm.
have friendly competition, so I like
Yeah.
that pushes you push your teammates, you push other athletes that are your competitors. And so speaking of, at practice, like, hey, I just, ran faster than you on this 300
Mhm.
repeat. How do you push yourself during those hard, long practices? And whoo, we got to do it again day after day. You talked about routine, but how do you continue to stay motivated through that?
So obviously, like I said, my teammates. I mean, like I see them work, and I think how do they do it every day? And if they're doing it every day, I can do it every day. But it's also about we talked about those short term goals and those long term goals, and those are just like, can I push myself? Can I be better than the other person? It's like it's just that kind of discipline. I don't know, but I like being able to push my teammates as well because I like to see people get better. And if we all get better, then we're all getting better. We're bouncing off of each other and eventually we're just all gonna kind of excel. That's what I've seen in the past couple of years as we've been a track team. Like if we work harder and we push each other to get up, come on, you got this last rep. We're all gonna get up and kind of just see that we're gonna see it with each other, and we're gonna want to continue this nature. So I think we just gotta look at your teammates and just yeah keep pursuing it. Mm.
That's good. That's cool. Now, yeah, I know you seem to be a big team oriented person.
Mm.
How do you balance out your team goals and your individual goals?
Me being like I do 400, but we also do 4x4, and I do 300 hurdles out in the spring. Honestly, me and my coach we've talked about like the importance of like encouraging your teammates and then focusing on your own goals at the same time. So we have different practices for whatnot and like that, but I feel like that kind of comes down to just going out there and I mean putting in that hard work. Either way, you're going to get something out of it. So I feel like as an individual, you need to be able to go out there and put in that hard work, and it'll kind of help you in those relays and in like in the other events with your team. But also just being a leader. If you're a leader and you can help your teammates, just like get up off the ground, help them up, give them a helping hand, tell them how to do a certain exercise right. Those are obviously ways that you can just push teamwork. And if other people seeing you do that, it'll kind of continue like a chain reaction. So I don't know. I think there's ways you can obviously focus on yourself individually. Stretching, like at home, I like to stretch a lot by myself. But then also, if you want, encouraging your teammates to stretch after a practice, a hard workout, like be like, hey, stretch. Like that's an important thing to do. So yeah.
What would you say separates a great athlete from a good athlete? Because you're going the extra mile, right? I mean, it's one thing to be on a team, but even as a junior, being vocal, encouraging your teammates, friendly competition. So, what separates a good athlete?
I think what separates that, there can be a lot of things that separate it, but I feel like establishing your goals, like having a goal set in mind and just going at it. I mean, even if it seems so far off, like I'll have a goal for the 400 if I said like something like 47-3 for outdoor open, which like seems like crazy, but like I feel like I know if I can like keep working every day at that, like I don't think as a freshman I didn't think I would ever hit 48 like running that. I never thought that. I didn't imagine that. Maybe like senior year I thought that. And so like that was my goal at the time and I hit that now, so I got to establish a new goal. And that's what I'm working for. And like I mean I love being able to win. Winning is just, I mean, obviously feels great. You cross the line, you see a PR or you just beat someone, beat that competition you've been competing with. So I feel like I just love the thrill, the adrenaline, the runner's high. I don't know, it just all comes together.
Nice. Well, what are you looking forward to the most this upcoming season?
I mean, seeing what I can do. I don't know. I mean, lately I've been doing some times, been running faster than I've usually been able to run. So I'm just kind of excited to see what I can do. I mean, I know I can continue to get better, hit more PRs. That was my second 400, and that was on a bank track, my second 400. And I've already hit my outdoor PR on an indoor track, which is like mind blowing. So, I mean, I'm super hyped to see how far this can go. I mean, PRs, whatnot.
We're excited to see it too, right?
Yep.
If if your teammates or coaches could describe you in one word, what would they say?
I don't know. This might be a weird one, but like maybe annoyed. Like annoyed, like that seems off. But I want to say annoyed because like if I don't get what I like, if I don't have a good workout, I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm not gonna focus until I come back and I get it right. So that sounds like a weird word, but I feel like being annoyed at not understanding a situation, not being able to like technically figure out something. If you can use it right, I feel like it's a good way to like come back and work hard in a workout in the future, beat someone else. Because I mean, obviously, I could say disciplined or whatnot, but like when I have a bad day, I get annoyed. I go home and I focus. I don't. I go to bed early. I make sure I'm stretching. I come back the next day and I try to beat everyone I can. I try to do my best. So that's what I want to say. Annoyed. So
That's
yeah.
an absolute great quality to have.
Yeah.
It really is, because I mean, how many people are really that in tune with themselves? They just be like, oh, whatever, it happened, I'm done.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
need to, refocus until I get the times that the coach told me to hit at practice or at the meet.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Phoenix, if people wanted to follow you, keep up with you throughout the season, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably just check out my Instagram. It's Phoenix_Boyer. So just go there. Has a bunch of posts, and I'll upload little races that I have, good races that I have. So check that out. Yeah, that's the best place you can.
All right. Well, we sure do appreciate you joining us, taking
Yes.
time out of your busy schedule.
Yep.
And good luck this year. We're looking forward to seeing some great things and cheering you on for sure.
All right. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.